I guess Dylan was not on the injury report. Does that mean he came out of that game no worse for wear?
Yeah, tired.
Tired.
Yeah.
Coach, with you guys sort of being in the early stages of this whole rebuild thing, and those guys haven't really played a lot of big games. So is tonight one of those opportunities to kind of build that muscle memory for those type of games?
I do think we've had a couple games this year, for whatever reason, right, wrong, or indifferent, with added visibility, added excitement. I think this will be one of those games. And so I do think, it's some people take that as pressure, some people take that as fun. It is what you make of it. The beauty's in the eye of the beholder, in my opinion, regarding that. But I do think this will be one of those games, and just excited. It should be a good atmosphere, and their fans should get into it. Obviously, they're playing really good basketball, and they have that guy, so it's a good opportunity for us.
Coach, do you think that would be easy to coach a guy like Jokic?
I do.
But I mean, he's not the most expressive guy, right? He's like pretty much introvert or in his head, and at the same time, he's have such a high basketball IQ. Do you think sometimes it could be challenging or just like easy?
It's hard for me to put myself obviously in those shoes. I do think he seems to interact appropriately and use his voice when necessary. Whether we've seen clips, or I've seen clips at least, of him in the huddle or on the court when he sees something or he wants his presence felt, or it feels like he's imposing his will on what he wants to see happen because he has that acumen and that experience and that intelligence. And so, I think typically teams take on the personalities of their best player for the most part. And sometimes their head coach probably has a little bit to do with that and whatnot. But I think it's a good idea to follow and lean into that when you have a player and a person that, from all my perspective and everything that I've seen in terms of Jokic, that is that type of player in person. It's a positive.
And do you think there are similarities with Vic in the way he approached the game? Like, for example, he often jokes about the fact that there's not only basketball in his life, like it's not his only passion in his life, for example. Is it the same for Vic?
Yeah, I think the example you use, I would say, feels like it's similar. I've only heard Jokic say a couple funny jokes to Pop on the sideline, so I don't know him. But yeah, and obviously his interest in his horses and home is well known. So I assume it's true. But yeah, I think Victor is someone as well that has, as we've seen, interest outside of basketball, and I think we all need something to help balance us, and so that's great that those guys are, showing that.
I think we saw the clip yesterday. Victor's back home leading Yale practice for his fan group. Like, we laughed, but what does that say about him and his sort of commitment to this team and also the community and the fan experience and all of that?
Yeah, I mean, the saying, when people show you who they are, believe them. And I think he's done nothing but that in his 3 or so years here. I mean, he's been committed, invested, he's trusted, he's worked, he's had his actions back up his words, and so it's awesome. And San Antonio and our community is lucky to have him, and hopefully he feels the same way.
And you feel like he can't strain a calf or anything leading to Yale practice. Like, that's okay for him to be doing right now.
Yeah, I hope we're okay there.
Mitch, go ahead.
What are you guys looking for, talking to Jeremy about right now? What you're looking for from him?
Just the same things we've been talking. We've had so much change in and out of our lineups and roster that we don't really want anything different from anybody. I think we just continue to talk about, zoomed out our identity and brand of basketball, and then typically to whomever the individual is, you referred to Jeremy, their puzzle piece fits in how we see that. And those roles haven't changed since the start of the season or training camp, and everybody's on the same page with that. And sometimes when you have different lineups or roster availability, that can take on a different life at times and personality, and we're navigating that. And Jeremy hasn't flinched, and he's doing great. And so I got no hesitation or concern about his approach tonight. I think he'll be ready to go, and look forward to him giving us some good minutes tonight.
Mitch, I know we would rather be with our families yesterday, but can you just speak to the team getting to eat dinner together and kind of building camaraderie on the road for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was great. We were at the hotel. Some people have family or loved ones and people here, and it was really good food, and watched some football. We have some Cowboys fans and some opposite of that, so it made for a good environment, fun time, and it was a good game, and some good quality time spent. So sometimes we are our families away from our families, and our organization does a great job of supporting that and nurturing that.
Thank you. We're doing TV, right?